Hello, I am Luis Nuño. I am a professor in the area of signal theory and communications at the Polytechnic University of Valencia in Spain. Now I'm going to explain you a kind of musical calculator that I developed in the year 2008 and I call the Musical Abacus. The Musical Abacus integrates the main concepts in music theory, relating them in a logical and ordered way. It is intended for levels beginner and intermediate, and in order to use it, you need not know how to read music. It consists of two rotating discs, one being cardboard and the other plastic. You can see it here. Both discs are 12-sided polygons or dodecagons. This is due to the fact that there are 12 different musical notes and therefore 12 major keys, 12 minor keys, 12 major chords, 12 minor chords, etc. In each of its 12 possible positions, we find a major key and its relative minor. It contains the major scale and its relative minor, the intervals from the tonic of the major scale, the key signature for both keys, the order of sharps and flats, the three main chords in both keys and their arpeggios, and the harmonics of the tonic of the major key. We can say that the keys are sorted out by perfect fifths, that is, following a cycle of fifths. Here we have the musical abacus in the position of C major, A minor. Here you can see the A minor. And in order to use it, for example, in the C major key, we have to put it in the upper part of the abacus, and then we directly find the major key, the major scale on the left. Here you can see C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and the corresponding intervals from the tonic of this scale. In a major scale, all the intervals from the tonic are perfect or major. In the upper part, we find the three main chords in C major, the tonic C major with notes C, E, G, the subdominant F major, which notes are F, H, C, and the dominant seventh, G seventh, which notes are G, B, D, and F. Here we find the harmonics of note C. We can see the note G, which is the most important one from C, then note E and the other harmonics B flat and D. If we go to the relative minor, this is A minor, we put it in the upper part of the abacus, and then we find on the right the natural minor scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. We find also the directions for obtaining the harmonic and melodic minor scales. The harmonic minor scale is obtained by rising the 7th degree a half step. In the case of the melodic minor scale, we have two possible versions. In both of them, we rise the 6th and 7th degrees a half step, but this is necessary only in the ascending scale, but not in the descending one. So we have a modern version, which is very used in jazz, for example, which rises the 6th and 7th degrees, both in the ascending and the descending scale. The other version is the classical melodic scale, where the 6th and 7th degrees are raised only in the ascending scale, but not in the descending scale. The three main chords in the A minor key are here, the tonic chord A minor, which notes are A, C, E, the subdominant D minor, which notes are D, F, A, and the dominant seventh, E seventh, which notes are E, G sharp, B, and D. We can see that in the minor keys we use the chords from the harmonic minor scale. The key signature in C major, A minor has no accidentals. In the central part of the abacus, we find the order of sharps and flats. Here, this side the sharps, and here the flats. Now we can choose any other key, for example here D major and its relative B minor. Here is B minor, we rotated the disc 90 degrees. If we choose D major key, we put it in the upper part of the abacus, and then on the left we find directly the major scale D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp and D, as well as the intervals from the tonic of this scale to the rest of the notes. The three main chords in D major key are in the upper part of the abacus. We have the tonic, D major, subdominant, G major with the notes that form them, and the dominant seventh, A seventh. Here we can find the harmonics of D. The most important one is note A, and then note F sharp, and other harmonics are C and E. If we choose the relative minor, B minor key, we find on the right the natural minor scale B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, and B, as well as the instructions for obtaining the harmonic and melodic scales, both in the versions modern and classical. The three main chords in B minor are here: the tonic chord, B minor, the subdominant, E minor, and the dominant, F sharp seventh. Here we find enharmonic notes because they are necessary for other keys. The key signature for D major and B minor has two sharps, and we can see in the central part of the abacus which notes are sharp. They are F and C. As conclusions, we can say that the musical abacus integrates the main concepts in music theory, relating them in a logical and ordered way. It is intended for levels beginner and intermediate, and in order to use it, you did not know how to read music. It consists of two rotating discs, one being cardboard and the other plastic. Each of its 12 possible positions corresponds to a major key and its relative minor. The keys are sorted out by perfect fifths, that is, following a cycle of fifths. In each position we find the major scale and its relative minor, the intervals from the tonic of the major scale, the key signature of both keys, the order of sharps and flats, the three main chords in both keys and the arpeggios, and the harmonics of the tonic of the major key. Now I'm going to finish this presentation with some questions that are in fact doubts I had when I learned music. For example, why does the major scale have 7 notes, as well as the minor scale? Why does it have 7 notes? Why are there 12 musical notes? Why the C major relative key is A minor? Regarding the C major scale, why is there 1/2 step between E and F and between B and C, but 1 whole step between the other notes? Why intervals from C to F, from C to G, and from C to its octave C are called perfect? Why certain kinds of intervals are consonant? Why certain kinds of chords are consonant? Why chords are usually built by superimposition of thirds? Why the main chords in any key are on the 1st, 4th, and 5th degrees and no other ones? Which is the utility of the theory of harmonics? I will answer to these questions in other presentations. You can find all the information on the webpage harmonicwheel.com. Thank you very much for your attention.